My husband looked me in the eyes during dinner and said something that changed my life forever. "Margaret, move every dollar we have into the new account tomorrow. Trust me, it's safer there." After 43 years of marriage, I didn't question him. 3 days later, he was dead. I thought I was grieving the love of my life. Then my son arrived at my front door with his wife, a lawyer, and a shocking demand. And that's when I discovered my husband's final secret. A secret that made me question everything I thought I knew about our marriage. Stay until the end, because what happened next stunned everyone in the courtroom. My name is Margaret. I was 71 years old when my world collapsed. My husband Robert and I had been married for 43 years. We weren't wealthy, but we had spent decades saving every extra dollar we could. No luxury vacations, no expensive cars, no reckless spending, just two hardworking people building a secure future together. One Thursday evening, Robert seemed unusually serious during dinner. He barely touched his food. Finally, he set down his fork and looked directly at me. "Margaret, I need you to do something important." I felt a knot form in my stomach. "What is it?" He leaned closer. "Tomorrow morning, move all our savings into the account I opened last week." I frowned. "Why?" "It's safer." That was all he said. I asked more questions, but he kept repeating the same answer. "It's safer." After more than 4 decades together, I trusted him completely. The next morning, I transferred everything, every cent, nearly $300,000. 3 days later, Robert suffered a massive heart attack. He died before I could even reach the hospital. The following weeks were a blur of tears, funeral arrangements, and unbearable loneliness. I could barely get through a single day. Then 72 hours after the funeral, the doorbell rang. Standing outside were my son David, his wife Karen, and a lawyer carrying a briefcase. My heart immediately sank. Why would they bring a lawyer? We sat in the living room. The lawyer opened his folder. Then David said something that left me speechless. "Mom, Dad promised us that money." I stared at him. "What money?" "The savings account." I thought I had misunderstood. "What are you talking about?" Karen crossed her arms. "Dad said that money would eventually belong to us." The lawyer slid documents across the table. "We're here to discuss the transfer of assets." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My husband hadn't even been buried for a week, and they were already fighting over money. I felt sick. "Your father never told me any of this." David exchanged a quick glance with Karen. Then he said something even stranger. "He was worried you'd spend it." I couldn't breathe. After 43 years of loyalty and sacrifice, my own son was claiming I couldn't be trusted with my own savings. I asked them to leave. Immediately, the next morning, I began searching through Robert's office. I needed answers. Hours passed, then I found something. A sealed envelope hidden inside an old toolbox. My hands trembled as I opened it. Inside was a handwritten letter, addressed to me. "If you're reading this, sweetheart, I'm gone." I immediately started crying. The letter continued. "I know David and Karen will come for the money. That's why I asked you to move it." I stopped breathing. Robert knew. He knew exactly what was coming. The next sentence broke my heart. "For years, they've been pressuring me about our savings. They think I never noticed." I sat down. Robert had written 6 pages. 6 pages detailing conversations I never knew happened. Requests for loans, demands for early inheritance, arguments behind my back. And then I reached the final page. There was one sentence underlined twice. "The money belongs to you, not them. Protect yourself." I cried harder than I had at the funeral, because even after his death, Robert was still protecting me. But the story wasn't over, not even close. A week later, David filed legal paperwork. He wanted access to the account. I was devastated. This wasn't just about money anymore. This was my son, the little boy I had raised, the child whose scraped knees I had bandaged, the child whose dreams I had supported. Now he was taking me to court. Months passed. The stress was exhausting, but Robert's letter gave me strength. Then the court hearing arrived. David's lawyer argued that Robert had verbally promised the money to him. My attorney simply presented the facts. The account was legally mine. The savings belonged to Robert and me. And most importantly, Robert's handwritten letter clearly expressed his wishes. After reviewing everything, the judge made a decision. The claim was denied. Completely. The money remained mine. David lost. For a moment, I expected to feel victorious. Instead, I felt sad, because nobody truly wins when a family falls apart. After the hearing, David approached me outside the courthouse. For the first time in months, he wasn't angry. He looked ashamed. "Mom ... His voice cracked. I messed up. I said nothing. Tears filled his eyes. I let greed ruin everything. For several seconds, neither of us spoke. Then he hugged me, the same way he used to when he was a little boy. And for the first time since Robert's death, I felt peace. Not because I had won, not because I kept the money, but because truth had finally come to light. Today, some of that savings account still exists. But the most valuable thing Robert left me wasn't money. It was wisdom, because real wealth isn't what sits in a bank account. It's knowing who truly loves you when money is involved. And sometimes, the greatest gift a person leaves behind is the truth. If Robert had never written that letter, I might have lost everything, not just my savings, my dignity, my security, my future. One honest letter exposed years of hidden greed and changed the outcome forever. So remember this. Never assume everyone around you values your heart more than your money, and never underestimate the power of truth, because the truth always finds a way to speak. Even after someone is gone.